Because the other day I saw a lady pushing a stroller and her kid was walking, but that purse is strapped in. But it's tough getting older, and the biggest thing is just managing the pain. You know, used to, if you saw me limping, there was a story to go with it. You know, I dove into the bleachers to catch the ball. And now I just have these random jolts of pain. I mean, not long ago I was talking to some friends and I said, yeah, I just signed up for Netflix and I binge watched both seasons of Stranger Things. And they're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like just one day I woke up and I'd gone from baby got back to baby got bad back. And lately I've been having this terrible shoulder pain. I couldn't figure out what was causing it. I finally realized it was my darn purse. And I don't even know what's in the black hole that makes it so heavy. Because whatever I'm looking for, I can't find. But when I go to the grocery store, even if I only need one thing, I get a buggy to push that purse. And I know this is a universal problem. Because the other day I saw a lady pushing a stroller and her kid was walking, but that purse is strapped in. But you know what they're saying, you know, 50's the new 40, 40's the new 30, 9 o'clock's the new midnight. And it doesn't matter what time I go to bed, I wake up tired. Think, what was the point? I could have done something else. And now I'm starting to see more than just the physical signs of aging, you know. Now I'm starting to see those other signs. Like when I'm driving, if I'm not sure where I'm going, I have to turn the radio down so I can see. Lady said to me the other day, just wait a few years, you had to put your glasses on to hear. And the other day I'm leaving the mall, I have my packages, I go to put my bags in the trunk, can't get the key to work. I keep hitting my remote, it won't release the trunk. I can't figure out what in the world is wrong with this. So finally I think, well, maybe my latch is hung up. So I took my fist and I popped the trunk. Suddenly the car door opens, a man steps out and goes, could I help you? I said, oh my. I said, well, sugar, I bought you a present. I mean, he had a red car, I have a red car. Of course, it's a Mercedes and mine's a Kia, but apparently I can only distinguish colors now. But at least I'm not the only person losing her car in a parking lot. I kid you not, last Christmas, I saw a woman get out of her car at a crowded mall. And she took a plunger with a pink scarf tied to it and she slapped it on top of her car. Introducing the new car finder, right? But I'm seriously starting to worry about myself. About 10 years ago, I went to visit a friend of mine's mother in the nursing home, and we were sitting there talking. I knew she didn't recognize me, so finally I said, do you know who I am? And she said, no. She said, but if you'll go out there to that desk, that lady will tell you who you are and what room you're supposed to be in. Back then, I thought that was funny. Now I have days when I need to talk to the lady at that desk. Because some days I don't know my name, much less anyone else's. A conversation with me has become like a game of charades. I was trying to think of this actor's name, and I said to my friends, oh, you know him. He has dark hair. He was in that movie. Oh, you know the movie. He married what's her name? And she was on that show with those other girls, and they were in New York. Couldn't come up with anything. And then when it finally comes to me, it's like Tourette's. 3 days later, I'm standing in line at the grocery store. And out of nowhere, I go, Matthew Broderick. Thank you so much. So great to be here. I am originally from Tennessee. But now, even though I was born and raised in the South, I am not a Southern belle. Unless, of course, I need to be. Like when I'm on an airplane and I have to hoist my bag up in that overhead compartment. I can always find a nice, strong man to give me a hand. And people think we're stupid. But people are always asking me how I got into comedy. And the truth is, I had no choice but to become a comedian because funny follows me. I'm not kidding. It is everywhere I turn. Just the other day, I was standing in line at the grocery store, and the lady in front of me turned and said, "How big would you say a 10 by 13 storage unit is?" I said, "Well, I'm just guessing, but I'm going to have to go with 10 by 13. And I was passing through Mississippi. I stopped to eat. I ordered a salad. The waitress said, "What kind of dressing?" I said, "I want Caesar." And she said, "Oh, no." She said, "Honey," said, "they come in these real easy to open packets. You won't need no Caesars." It happened. And then I ordered a large Coke, and she said, "We don't have large. We only have small and medium." Now, where I'm from, you need 3 sizes to have a medium. Just give me that bigger one. And I was running down in St. Augustine, Florida, and a friend of mine had gone with me, also has short blonde hair. We'd gone out to eat, and the waitress walked over and said, "Are y'all related?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Are you sisters?" I said, "Where did I lose you?" And I heard a man sitting at the very next table ask that same waitress if the Alaskan snow crabs were local. She said, "I think so." But these things happen to me all the time. Just the other day, I was at the doctor's office waiting room, and a lady strikes up a conversation with me and starts telling me about a trip she's getting ready to make to Washington. So I said, "Washington State or Washington, D.C.? She said, "I don't know." And then she continued to talk about her trip, so I'm thinking she didn't understand the question. So again, I said, "I'm sorry, did you say you're going to Washington State or to Washington, D.C.? She said, "I don't know." She said, "Wherever the president lives." And her vote counts just as much. Scary. And even in my own great state of Tennessee, I stopped at McDonald's and I ordered an egg and cheese biscuit. Girl taking my order asked me, did I want my egg round or folded? Well, I've never been asked that before, but I considered my options and I said, "I'll go with round." She said, "We only have folded." But my favorite one was when I was working in Indiana. It was just across the Kentucky line off Interstate 65. And right there's where the time zone changes. And I'd forgotten to ask where my show was, if they were on Central Time or Eastern Time. Well, I had to run into Walmart anyway, so I just grabbed a woman in the store and I said, "Are you on Central Time or Eastern Time?" She said, "I don't work here." And that's why I'm a comedian. But I live in Chattanooga, and I played college basketball there. And when people find out I played college ball, the first thing they say is, "Yeah, but did you graduate?" Yes, and I don't appreciate what you're incinerating. I got a degree. Actually, I was a good student. I graduated at Hakuna Matata. But people are always surprised to find out that I played college ball because I'm 5'2", but hey, someone had to pass to the tall girls. And everyone thought I would be tall because in the 7th grade, I wore a size 9 shoe. Even the doctor told my mom, said, oh, she's going to grow. Said, look at her feet. Said, she's either going to be tall or be a clown. I think we know how that worked out. But I still try to stay active, and I've recently hired a personal trainer, and but after I worked out with her a couple of times, I had to sit her down and explain to her that she had completely overestimated my goals. I am not trying out for anything. I've decided that if I'm not a good girl, God's going to send me to the big gym in the sky and make me do burpees. And some days I'll be standing in the shower. I won't know if I've washed my hair or exactly where I am in the cleansing process. And I've literally been digging through my purse, looking for my cell phone while I was talking on it. I can't find my phone. I don't know what I've done with my phone. And my friend goes, well, just talk to me on this one till you find it. And now everyone is wireless. You know, the other day I'm waiting for the elevators. The elevator door's open. Guy goes, hey. I said, hey. He goes, how you doing? I said, I'm good. He goes, I'm on the phone. I said, I am too. You got to think quick. But I found a way to really make that work for me. I ran into a girl, went to high school with. She came running over and she went, Karen. I said, Kathy. And she said, no. She said, I'm Sarah. I said, I'm on the phone. And whenever I'm talking to my mom on my cell phone, if I drop the call and I call her back, she's in a panic. She's like, are you okay? I'm like, well, yeah, I just lost my signal. And she's like, oh, Lord, that scared me to death. I was afraid somebody had knocked you in the head. She's always worrying about that. Don't stop at a rest area at night. Somebody will knock you in the head. You better lock your doors tight. Somebody break in on you and knock you in the head. I'm surprised we don't hear more about that on the news. Last night, 15 people got knocked in the head. One was just talking on her cell phone. And I told my mom I was doing that bit. I went through the whole thing for her, and she looked at me and didn't crack a smile. She said, well, I don't see anything funny about getting knocked in the head. But it's kind of a double standard because I tell her, I'm fine, stop worrying. But if I've called my parents for several hours and nobody answers, and I'm on the phone to my brother, and what in the world's happening to Mom and Dad? They didn't say they were going anywhere. Where in the world could they be? Then we both take off down to their house, start looking for clues. In a little while, here they come. They've been at the funeral home. Ran into people they hadn't seen in a while, got socializing. I said, yeah, well, you need to let somebody know if you're going to be out late. I thought somebody knocked you in the head. Oh, but she'd be a millionaire if her job was to worry. She worries about everything. I was on a cruise, and the whole time I was gone, she was on pins and needles because of pirates. I said, Mom, the pirates are in Somalia. I'm going to be in the Caribbean. She said, that doesn't matter. She said, there's copycats. So that's what's really threatening our national security, copycat pirates, and in case you didn't know. And she knows just enough about technology to confuse her. She called me one day and she said, will you look on your computer and see what channel the ball game comes on? She said, I Googled it with my remote control, but I can't find it. And back when Amazon announced they were going to start sending drones to deliver packages, she called and she said, you know what's going to happen there? You'll order something from Amazon, they'll send a drone out to deliver it to you, and about the time they drop it on your porch, you'll walk out your front door and get knocked in the head. But technology is great until it screws up, isn't it? You know, I flew into Pensacola not long ago and I rented a car, and at the rental car counter, the agent said, do you want a GPS? And I said, oh, no, I have my phone. And as soon as I left the airport, my GPS started recalculating, taking me on wrong turns. Suddenly it started pouring rain, and right in the middle of it, my mother called because she thought my plane had been hijacked. So I said, Mom, let me call you back because my GPS is going berserk and I'm lost. And she goes, well, don't you have an atlas? And I said, no, but I guess I could look for a payphone and call and get directions. Or I know I could send up smoke signals. Maybe they'll send a wagon to come fetch me. Even if I had an atlas, I couldn't read it because my smartphones made me stupid. And I was reading that millennials have 31 billionaires under the age of 40 due to their technology inventions. And that's because they grew up with better stuff. Their toys were educational. I had a Slinky. Of course, I didn't invent anything. I played with a spring. If they had a question, they had Google. I had the magic 8-ball. What do you mean, ask again later? I need to know now. The only thing that I had that was remotely advanced was Etch-a-Sketch. And my mom got me one at a garage sale, and the left knob was missing, so everything I drew took a hard right. But I was thinking what it would have been like that had modern technology in biblical times. Of course, Jesus would have had the most followers. And he would have tweeted something like, meet me on the mount, hashtag fish and bread for everyone. And Daniel would have tweeted, OMG, hashtag nice kitty. And if Moses had had a GPS when he was wandering in the desert, it would have said, in 1 year, take a right. I had to close my Twitter account because my mom started following me. And every time I'd tweet, she'd call and say, stop telling everybody what you're doing. You're going to get knocked in the head. But I know she worries because I do spend so much time on the road. And because of that, I got a radar detector now. That's a handy device because it'll let you know the moment that you're caught. And if you have a driving record like mine, you'll do just about anything to avoid a ticket. Last time I was pulled over, the officer approached the window and I said, oh my, officer. Well, if I'd known you're so handsome, I'd have pulled you over. Hey, got me a date in court. Those lady cops are tough. And you know, cops, they always ask you that same stupid question. Do you know why I stopped you? So it won't be so windy when we talk? And I tell you what I do not understand, that's cops on bicycles. I mean, what do they do when they arrest someone? Okay, buddy, in the basket. I told that joke the other night, and this whole table started pointing to this one guy, and I said, "Oh, are you a bicycle cop?" He said, "No, I've been in a basket." But the worst part of being on the road so much, I mean, the last thing I want to do when I get home after I've been gone is to clean house. So I hired a housekeeper. But little did I know that getting ready for the housekeeper to come is as much work as just cleaning the house. And now I'm on her schedule. The other day, a friend of mine called and said, "You want to go to lunch?" I said, "I'd love to, but I can't because I got to get this house cleaned up for the housekeeper." Because Sheila don't play. If she shows up and my counters aren't cleared off, she'll let me go. I didn't even know I could be fired by somebody I hired. I've been written up twice for leaving dishes in the sink. But I bought a new house not long ago, and before I could move into my new house, I had to sell my old house, and I was having trouble selling the house. And tell me if you've heard of this. Someone told me that if I would bury a statue of St. Joseph in the front yard, the house would sell. Okay, you've heard of it. I hadn't heard of it, but I would try anything. So I got a statue of St. Joseph. I buried him in the front yard. Unbeknownst to me, my dog dug him up, buried him in the backyard. 2 days later, a lady knocked on my door and wanted to buy the doghouse. And then I finally get moved in, and the first problem I had to deal with was I had this huge ant problem. So I called the pest control guy to come out, and I said, "I've got a zillion ants." He said, "That's not a problem, because all we have to do is kill the queen, and the workers commit suicide." I said, "And you know this because they leave little notes?" Or do they climb up on the roof while the fire ants try to talk them down? He said he killed the queen, but I know he didn't because I could still hear show tunes coming from the colony. And then I had a tree blocking my views. I backed out of my driveway, so I called a guy to come and cut the tree. He cuts the tree, and I said, "Well, that's great, but what about the stump?" "Oh, sorry, lady. All I do is cut the tree. You want the stump removed, you'll need to call a stump guy." So I find a stump guy. He comes out, he removes the stump, and now I have this giant hole in my yard. I said, "Well, aren't you going to fill in the hole?" "No, ma'am. I'm just stump guy." "You want the hole filled in, you'll need to call a landscaper." So I called a landscaper. I said, "Look, I'm on my way out of town. Just come in and make it look good." I get home, he's planted a tree. This is my life. It's a vicious cycle. But the worst part of being gone so much is that I miss my animals. I rescue animals all the time. I have 4 dogs and a cat. My friends call me the Animal Avenger because I'm always rescuing something. And they don't even have to be cute. I help possums cross the road. Every time I see a herd of cattle, I yell, "Move to India." But my kitty I rescued from a dumpster, brought him home, named him Sky. But after I had him for about 6 months, I changed his name to Ted Bundy. He and the neighbor cat, John Wayne Gacy, they go on these killing sprees, and then they drag these half-dead critters to my door, and now I have to try and rescue them. I mean, do you know how hard it is to resuscitate a mole? Come on, breathe. And it's not just pets, it's all animals I love. And I recently got to go on this behind-the-scenes tour of our local zoo, and it was so cool because we got to get up close and personal with the animals. And they brought out a little red panda for us to pet. And legend has it that I pushed down a little girl to get to the panda. Which is completely false. I did not push down a little girl. I just beat her to the front of the line, fair and square. I didn't push her, I just won. Not my fault she had a short little stride. And then later they brought out a baby fox and said, does anybody want to hold the fox? And that's when I pushed her. Because I had to get to that fox. And I could hear her crying. She said, Mommy, I wanted to hold the fox. I said, well, now here's a good chance for you to learn that you don't always get what you want. It's a teaching opportunity. And not long ago, I had this wonderful experience. I was down in Miami, and I swam with the dolphins. It was so cool. Well, actually, it was only one dolphin, and that was a former dolphin. I had a similar experience with a saint. Some people just realize we're talking football. But because I am on the road so much, I'm in hotel rooms a lot and I watch a lot of television. Sometimes I feel like there's 100 channels and nothing on. When I can't find anything else to watch, I'll flip over to TV Land and see something I grew up with. And growing up, my favorite show was Bewitched. But the thing that amazed me was not that Samantha could do witchcraft, but that Darren didn't want her to. I think the perfect man would be a warlock. And when he said, I'm out of clean underwear, I'm saying, why are you telling me your nose broke? Twitch some up. My other favorite show was Andy Griffith. I would love to see Andy film today. We'd have Otis in a 12-step program. The season finale would be Gomer's coming out episode. Surprise, surprise, surprise. And you know, ladies, Gilligan's Island is the reason we overpack. They were only going on a 3-hour tour. Thank goodness Ginger was thinking ahead. But see, guys are different. Guys can go away for a week, take 2 T-shirts and 3 pairs of underwear. And this is a hint to single women. If you meet a man on a trip and his luggage consists of more than a gym bag, you leave him alone. His wife packed for him. You see matching luggage, that is a married man. Well, people are always asking me where I get my material. And the truth is, I get my material living life. You know, whatever happens to me, good or bad, I find the humor in it. 4.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. I'd just gone for a routine checkup. And the nurse practitioner was examining me, and we were laughing and joking about getting older, when all of a sudden she got to my abdomen and all the blood drained out of her face, and she said, you have a huge mass. She said, didn't you feel that? I said, well, I knew it didn't matter what I did. I couldn't get rid of my stomach, but I thought it was just like the middle-aged spread, you know. She said, that's not fat, that is a mass. I said, well, you better check back here, because I can't get rid of that either. The next week, I was in surgery, and when my doctor cut me open, my right ovary came flying out the size of a cantaloupe, my left ovary size of a grapefruit. Turns out my muffin top was a fruit salad. And I travel all the time, which means I go through those x-ray machines at airport security a lot. Don't you think that at some point a TSA agent would have pulled me aside? Said, I don't see a bomb, but you're packing a fruit stand, lady. Call your doctor. 4 weeks after that, I started chemotherapy, and I have to confess, you know, having been a college athlete, I thought, I'll breeze right through that, and that was the hardest thing I've ever done. And on my worst days, my friend Christy would put on Kelly Clarkson, What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger, and we would dance. Now, when I say that I danced, I mean that I shuffled around the room. I certainly don't want to give the impression that I twerked my way through chemo. Or that I was hooked up to the IV going, watch me drip, Watch me nay-nay. Watch me drip, drip. Watch me nay-nay. I did not have that in me. But cancer really has taught me so much. Like, never order a wig on the internet. I ordered the Jamie Lee Curtis Pixie, and what they sent me made me look like Joe Pesci from My Cousin Vinny. And I see other cancer patients tie a scarf around their head and look like a fashion model. When I did it, people asked me to read their palms. And of course, the very last hair to fall off my body was Gladys, my devoted chin hair. And when I finished treatment, my hair started coming back. Guess who was first back on the scene? Cancer has also taught me to live every day as if it's my last. Of course, that upsets my family. Because every day I call them and say goodbye. I'll miss you. Also learned that chemo brain is real. About 3 months after my last treatment, I was on my way out of town, and I pulled up to the drive-thru of SunTrust Bank, and the teller said, "How may I help you?" And I said, "I need to pick up my prescription." And the second it came out of my mouth, I realized where I was. He said, "I was wondering if you'd run down to Walgreens and get it for me." You're the one always bragging about customer service. But the thing that surprised me the most is I thought I was on the other side of menopause, but removing my ovaries threw me right back in it, and I mean worse than ever. You know, my favorite movie when I was a kid was The Wizard of Oz, but now that I've gotten older, it's come to have a much deeper meaning to me. I mean, when I was young and the Wicked Witch screamed, "I'm melting," I thought she was dying. Now I know she's having a hot flash. She's going through menopause, that's why she's trying to kill everybody. I've seen the time when I wish I had me some flying monkeys, I tell you that right now. And I know why they call them hot flashes. Because when one hits you, you don't care who you flash. And I always like to take just a moment, share with the men in the room, and help you to understand the women in your life just a little bit better by telling you the difference between a woman with PMS and a woman going through menopause. A woman with PMS will kill you. A woman going through menopause will force you to take your own life. And guys, you're welcome for that little heads up. But wherever I'm traveling to, I always try to go do whatever the thing is to do there. And I was in Memphis, Tennessee not long ago, and I went to see the March of the Peabody Ducks. Have you heard of this at the Peabody Hotel in Memphis? Well, in case you haven't heard, these ducks live on the roof of the Peabody Hotel. And every day at 10 o'clock, the ducks take the elevator down from the roof, where they march in single file across a red carpet and play in the fountain until 5 o'clock. At which time they march back to the elevator and return to the roof. 365 days a year, it is jam-packed, standing room only to witness this. At exactly 10 o'clock, a voice rings across the lobby. "Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the elevator doors and observe this 50-year tradition. The March of the Peabody Ducks." The elevator doors open and the ducks hit it. People come from all around. Watch the elevator bring us down. We march by as we've been trained. Humans are easily entertained. I just envision these ducks every day as the lobby's filing full of people going, humans need to get a life. And all the little river ducks down in the Mississippi going, Mama, how do you get to the Peabody Hotel? Practice, practice, practice. Now pick those knees up and throw your wings into it. I also see a ton of movies because when I'm sitting around my hotel, a lot of times I'll either pull up a movie or see something on cable that I've seen 1,000 times. And one of my all-time favorites, by applause, who has seen the movie Nell with Jodie Foster? Have you seen that movie? Movie Nell? Well, I thought she gave an incredible performance. But even more impressive than her performance was how Liam Neeson, who played her doctor, how he was able to learn her language. And in the final scene, he translates for the court what Nell is saying. Nell approaches the bench. For time what we Lord, nay been tata. Nell said that since her mother's demise, she has been frightened. Baso tata Adelaide, and a kind Lord he lived my sky on a K. She said that we as a people are universally fearful. But the Lord alleviates the source of our despair. All I know is that if you ever get stopped for DUI, this is the guy you want speaking for you. A, B, C, T, D. She said A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. That movie was filmed in North Carolina. I broke down in North Carolina one time, rolled up this little one-pump gas station, Goober, sitting on the front porch. He walked over, looked under my hood, and goes, "Ton tattoo up." I'm thinking, I found Nell's father. I said, "I am sorry, sir, but I didn't understand you." He said, yeah, you got a bad ton tat. So finally I said, okay, well, do you sell ton tats? He fixed the car. I still don't know what he did. But when I drove off, I said, "Thank me, Chicopee." You know, I think Nell would make a great rap artist, you know? Be like Jay-Z, Chicopee. They Jay and Paul and Mom May, I so ta-ta Adelaide, say tay in the wind. Everybody say tay in the wind. Hey, thank you so much. I'm Karen Mills. Thank you very much.